Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New York University, Abu Dhabi. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're about to start the 2019 commencement exercises of New York University, Abu Dhabi. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome New York University Abu Dhabi's 2019 Color Guard. Please welcome New York University Abu Dhabi's 2019 graduating class, led by the student banner bearer. Please welcome members of the New York University Abu Dhabi Cabinet and the New York University Abu Dhabi Campus Life Leadership Team. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the faculty of New York University Abu Dhabi. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome distinguished members of the Platform Party, led by the Abu Dhabi Police Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthems of the United Arab Emirates and the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, the Provost of New York University, Abu Dhabi, Fabio Piano.
Here now, in the presence of candidates for academic recognition, members of the faculty and administration, alumni, trustees, honored guests, and friends of New York University, Abu Dhabi, the 2019 commencement is hereby convened.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Majida Al Maktoum, member of the class of 2019.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب السمو والسعادة والحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. رمضان مبارك. اسمي ماجدة بنت مكتوم المكتوم، أحييكم أطيب تحية وأرحب بكم في حفل التخرج الدفعة السادسة لجامعة نيويورك أبو ظبي. Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, honored guests, university leadership, and fellow peers, I hope you all traveled here safely. Ramadan Mubarak. My name is Majida bint Maktoum al-Maktoum. I am delighted to welcome you all to the commencement of the class of 2019 of New York University Abu Dhabi. We are all gathered here today for a special occasion. This commencement is taking place during the holy month of Ramadan and during its last 10 days, which is a sacred time. Not only that, but we are also gathered here today during the UAE's Year of Tolerance, which has aimed to foster respect, peaceful coexistence, and mutual understanding among people here in the UAE. And in my time here, I have definitely come to believe that NYU Abu Dhabi is the epitome of tolerance. Roughly 4 years ago, the class of 2019 took a risk of attending this university. For some, this place was already a home, but for others, it was on the other side of the world, an adventurous choice. But I know that today, 4 years later, we can all gladly call NYU Abu Dhabi our home. On campus, we have had countless discussions on trying to define the identity of NYUAD. We are an American institution, and also here in the UAE. So what does that make us? I think NYUAD is its community, its students, its faculty, its staff. It is also capstone, long hours at the library, and spring breaks to our top-rated destinations, Turkey, Georgia, and Thailand. All of these together gives NYUAD its heart and soul. In this home, we have grown to become a family. Here, we experience this idea of a shared humanity and a shared responsibility to do good and to be tolerant. The UAE Year of Tolerance reminds us to carry the value of kindness, forgiveness, and compassion beyond the borders of the UAE and shared with the world what we have experienced here. When I look at the world today, I see that tolerance is needed more than ever. At a time when words have the power to separate and divide us, we need tolerance. At a time when social media has the power to produce hate, we need tolerance. And at a time when ignorance overcomes knowledge, we need tolerance. We all arrived here from different walks of life. We brought our cultures, our stories, our perspectives, and our beliefs into this environment. NYUAD encouraged us to be curious, critical thinkers, and courageous. And I think that's what we're going to walk away with. يجب أن نكون مثال للعالم في التسامح والسلام والمحبة ولكي يرى العالم ماذا تعلمنا من دولة الإمارات. ومن أقوال الشيخ محمد بن راشد المكتوم: التسامح لا نرفعه شعاراً ولكننا نعيشه نهج حياة. To the UAE leadership, family, friends, faculty and staff, loved ones and greater NYUAD community, thank you so much for your support in getting us to where we are today. And on a personal note, I would like to thank my mother. No amount of thank yous is enough for you. You made me the woman who I am today. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of New York University Board of Trustees, William Robert Berkeley.
Good evening. As board chairman, I'm fortunate to attend 3 commencement exercises in 3 countries in just over a week. 1 in New York, 1 in Abu Dhabi, and 1 in a few days in Shanghai. I'm fully experiencing that thrill and the jet lag that comes from being a part of a truly global university. The Board of Trustees and I have watched the progress at NYU Abu Dhabi over the past 9 years with great pride. Your achievements are nothing short of remarkable. From highly competitive admissions to new research frontiers to prestigious student awards to an innovative curriculum for the 21st century. These accomplishments would not be possible without the talent and hard work of world-class faculty and administrators, guided by the superb chairmanship of my good friend Al Bloom. But the incredible support provided by the Abu Dhabi government has been nothing but spectacular through good times and bad. That in and of itself has made this possible. I want to also be sure that everyone understand, however, the remarkable class of 2019 remains the strongest group of students and proof of concept. You are beyond outstanding. We are incredibly proud of you. I am an alumnus of NYU. Today, you are about to become NYU alumni yourselves. You'll join a community of more than 500,000 fellow NYU graduates around the world. I hope that being part of this unique and dynamic university will bring you as much gratification as it's brought to me. Over the past half-century, I have gained much. I've learned most of all, you can do well while doing good. To you, the class of 2019, best wishes and my warmest congratulations. Thank you.
We now present a special tribute to the class of 2019, a commencement video featuring our graduating students.
When you hear about NYU Abu Dhabi, the first thing that comes to mind is like, is this a real thing? Is it really? No, there's no way, there's gotta be a catch. That's the thing with NYU Abu Dhabi. You come here, you see what this place is all about, you fall in love with it, and it's done. It's done. There's no going back. That's it.
It was incredible.
It's really life-changing and transformative, I'd say.
It was just amazing.
NYUAD not just met my expectations, but really exceeded it.
I never expected to make such good friends here, for example.
This student body is fascinating.
I've learned about cultures I never thought I would be exposed to.
I was blown away by the opportunities to travel, engage, learn beyond the walls of my classroom.
I really wanted to explore the world.
It's been a fun 4 years, but I'm ready to go.
I'm excited, but at the same time can't believe that it's already happening. I feel like I was just at Canada weekend yesterday.
I'm gonna miss this openness and this desire to lift each other up.
Here at this university, hard work and ambition is almost contagious.
You have that urge to do something and do something for the better.
If there's something that didn't exist here and you wanted it to exist, you can make it happen.
Students can take on leadership roles, create new programs, get involved with projects that break the boundaries of what is thought to be a student project.
Most of what we learn here at NYUAD is outside of classrooms. So whether it's research opportunities or even playing ping pong in the baraha with my friends and talking about their culture and their religion.
My classmates are from all over the world. Terrace is from Hong Kong, Alyssa's from the Philippines.
From Peru.
Germany.
Macedonia.
Chile. From Japan.
I've met people from countries that I would have never even have known about.
Every conversation becomes more deep and complex.
Everybody has different opinions, but those opinions are based on something, and it's so important to understand why we think something is right or wrong.
I feel like I've seen the world so much more.
Study away experiences really gave me a chance to be immersed and really pushed beyond what I thought I was capable of.
Those educational experiences that are explicitly global in nature are valuable, but it's also valuable to just go with your friends to Cyprus and rent a car and drive around.
There's a lot of trips. They call them kashtas, and they take students all over the Emirates.
We had Kesha trips to Ras Al Khaimah, we had Kesha trips to Sharjah, we just had one to Delma Island a few weeks ago.
I really felt like when I came here, I was really taken in by the hospitality, by my local friends. I felt so much more integrated with the UAE and with Abu Dhabi.
It's growing, and we kind of get to see that growth and be involved in that growth.
NYUAD is part of creating the culture here.
The UAE also becomes a part of your identity over the 4 years here because Abu Dhabi is a city that you really learn to love.
I would describe the experience as sort of an adventure, like a make your own pathway.
Through the liberal arts curriculum, you can really explore different areas.
We have a very deep knowledge in one subject, but also a broad understanding in several subjects.
I mean, how many engineers can say that they studied politics in Berlin and art in Florence?
So the classes here are quite rigorous. I think it leaves just enough time for a social life, but just enough time.
A few of us got back from dinner last weekend, and we ended up chatting all about the political effects of weapons deals. Is that what college students normally chat about on their Friday nights? Probably not.
My favorite memories are the little ones.
Being out in the desert and sitting around a fire with friends.
Surprise birthday parties.
Eating knafe on the streets of Abu Dhabi.
I spend a lot of time with the campus cats.
NYU Abu Dhabi has a lot of opportunities, such as NYUAD Institute, the Art Center, where they have almost weekly events.
There's always soccer matches happening. We actually played against a professional team last semester. It was a terrible score, but it was at least a good opportunity.
Stop. All these amazing activities, Latino nights, Balkan nights, Pakistani wedding night.
You get to see what your peers are doing either through conferences or research or performances. And you're like, wow, this class is talented.
The class of 2019 is passionate.
Curious.
They're very hardworking.
Adventurous.
Ambitious.
Eccentric.
They're all amazing, beautiful people. And we all come together and it's beautiful. I'm gonna miss them a lot. A lot.
I'll definitely miss being in this space where there are people around me who are engaged in and interested in and devoted in solving a lot of the real world issues we have.
I think NYUAD has helped me grow in a lot of ways. It gave me the confidence to ask more questions and to allow myself to be curious.
I think it's opened my mind to different ways of approaching religion, different ways of approaching politics.
Every single interaction I've had here, I think, has been something that has shifted something in me and, showed me how much I don't know about the world, which I think is awesome.
I've definitely grown in terms of my capacity for empathy.
I think I'm less impulsive.
Has made me more hardworking, has given me vision for the future.
I think NYU Abu Dhabi has given me more than I need to go on after graduation.
I was recently selected as a LUF scholar. I'll be going to Malaysia to work on technology education for a woman.
I'm very, very privileged to be heading to Beijing next year, where I'll be studying as a Schwarzman scholar.
I'll be staying in Dubai, working in consulting.
I plan to move to DC for the next 2 years to pursue my master's in security policy studies at George Washington University.
This year I actually won the Rhodes Scholar, so I'll be going to Oxford University.
I'm going to do a dual master's degree between Sciences Po University in Paris and London School of Economics.
I'll be joining PwC in Dubai.
Joining HSBC in London.
Pursuing my master's in mechanical engineering in the United States as a Fulbright scholar.
I'll be going to Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar.
I will be a pre-doctoral fellow in economics at Harvard.
Pursuing my master's at Tsinghua University as a Schwarzman scholar.
These past 4 years have been amazing, and I just want to tell you all thank you.
I would like to thank His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan for giving us the opportunity to study here.
To engage with the local community, to experience the culture, and I'm forever grateful for this opportunity.
A huge thanks to my parents.
And I think I definitely like to thank my peers.
Thank you for all the conversations and all the cups of tea.
I love you guys.
I'd like to thank all the AD&H staff, all the contract staff.
A big thank you to all the professors.
Thank you for making us better human beings.
Okay, today is the day. Good luck.
MashaAllah, class of 2019, we did it.
Capstone is over, we're free.
Congratulations, class of 2019.
Felicitaciones.
Badaita.
Sikharidiria.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Alf Mabruk.
We made it.
We definitely made it, but don't stop here.
Let's make a difference.
Use the privilege that we have of this amazing experience to make people's lives better.
Congratulations, class of 2019. We made it!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rayan Elsharkawi, member of the class of 2019.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, Mr. Berkeley, President Hamilton, Vice Chancellor Bloom, esteemed faculty, distinguished guests, friends and families, and the class of 2019. Welcome and Ramadan Kareem. Thank you so much for being here with us today as we celebrate our 4 years at NYU Abu Dhabi. Growing up with a single father, my family struggled financially, and so consistency was almost non-existent. However, the one thing my father ensured was consistent was my education. Despite financial hardship, he persistently strived to keep me in one of the best schools in Egypt, because like this nation's leaders, he firmly believed in the pricelessness of education. He'd always say, "The money I lost, I can recover, but the years you could lose learning are unrecoverable." The absence of guided education would have been irreversible for me. Trying to picture what my life would have been like had I stayed back home and not been fortunate enough to NYU Abu Dhabi, I would have received a decent education in the classroom, but not outside. The only George I would have known would have been in the States. No mock Pakistani wedding to RSVP2, no chicken tikka masala for lunch, no one-on-one collaboration with my professors on research, no pursuit of my passions beyond my major, no multicultural picture with my friends on a grass patch, and don't even get me started on what my Instagram page would have looked like then. It is because of my father's resilience that I am here today. And actually, he deserves the NYUAD degree much more than I do, because he's been with me throughout these 4 years, through every exam, internship, and rejection, even when I would put him on hold to submit an assignment at 11:59. And I think we can all relate to this, because in addition to my father, I've created an incredibly close and resilient family here in Saadiyat, who has supported me with both my academic endeavors and my personal struggles. And so what does this resilience look like on campus? It's in continuously proving that we're worthy of the privilege we're lucky to have, in overcoming mental health battles as we adapt to new environments and cultures, in using our backgrounds to globalize our education, in consistently establishing NYUAD's names in companies and grad schools, having the first football team to reach semifinals this year, and building the first student-led sustainable home thanks to the Solar Decathlon team. These are just a few of the countless examples of resilience at NYUAD. And so, my dear family, I want to share the spirit of resilience with you, and I hope you use it to contribute to the vision of both the university and the UAE, to foster cultural consciousness and a global network tied to the Middle East, to develop research and build knowledge-based economies, and to tackle global challenges from all fields. Now, I want to ask you a bit of a personal question. Who here has relationship issues or commitment issues? Who here is long-distance relationship phobic? I'm pretty sure way more of you are. I started my first long-distance relationship the day I came to NYU Abu Dhabi, and it was with my family. My father had made me promise to consistently keep in touch, particularly with my younger sister. It was one of his 2 terms for a long-distance relationship. That and obtaining a GPA of at least 3.8. Lol. Being consistent with it was tough though. Adjusting to the different time zones, spam dialing each other for 15 minutes before connecting because thanks NYU Wi-Fi, missing a birthday but blowing out virtual candles together, celebrating how my grandma beat cancer, or even hearing arguments about how she won't stop feeding my fat cat. It was only the first time when I came to NYUAD that I had a cultural shock. But why was it that every time I went home, I repeatedly had mini cultural shocks over and over? The place didn't change, nor did the people. It was me. Long distance is weird. I clashed with my friends and my parents on multiple occasions on cultural, religious, and lifestyle matters. You can't wear the pants, they said. I said, well, what about ripped jeans? You're too independent, so when are you getting married, they said. I'm married to my career, thank you very much. In dealing with such interactions, it's very easy to identify the other end as ignorant. But part of our responsibility is to not take that easy way out. Unlike most members of our home communities, we've been extremely fortunate to have had the opportunity to step foot into multiple worlds and to grow our minds here. And because of this, we really need to think about how we can extend our worldview over to our homes, how we can integrate some of what we've learned into local contexts, which we were once entirely native to. Despite the differences in our opinions on various topics, one good thing about our long-distance relationship is that every time I called home, we picked up where we left off. And the same can be said about all the times I called my NYUAD family, all the long-distance friendships that we, as a class of 2019, maintained while studying abroad, sometimes not seeing our good friends for 2 whole years. I find it crazy how all of us, all these tiny specks with different past and present experiences from all over the world, managed to do it. We each grew in our own ways, molded by the wonderful opportunities we've had the privilege of receiving and experiencing. But what allowed us to strengthen our long-distance bonds was the fact that we all grew in parallel. While there was no singular NYUAD journey, our values, whether we developed them in A2 or A6, on the football field or in Capstone Corner, in the Super Lab or in the Black Box, have constructed our shared experience. This nation's leaders have further strengthened our values by bringing all of us together in this year, more like years of tolerance. Being an NYUAD student is much more than carrying the bookstore tote bag like it's the most fashionable item down the High Line. It's more than migrating D2 to Abdul Wahab on Tuesdays and to Circle Cafe on weekends. It's in the family of resilience that we've established here on campus. It's in how proactively we support one another, how we follow up on our friends' interviews, how we mentor underclassmen once they panic when we ask them, what's your major? How we treat each other to meal swipes, how we agree to disagree, how we adapt to new environments, learn to operate within their cultural boundaries, and thrive in them. It's also in how disciplined we are. Never in my life have I seen students stay up until 4 a.m. on Friday and then greet them the next morning in the library at 9 a.m., caffeinated and dedicated. On that note, thank you to the convenience store for sponsoring the juice, the DJ Sig for their very diverse music that somehow always circles back to reggaeton, and Rezed for their guest appearances. On that note, thank you to the United Arab Emirates and its leaders for giving us this unparalleled experience and for generously welcoming us with open arms. Thank you to all the faculty and administrative staff for stimulating our minds, supporting our passions, and allowing us to mold our global perspectives here with you. Thank you to all the staff for always smiling at us, ensuring our well-being, and for making the 4 years here wholesome. To all our family members, whether you are here today or are live streaming this ceremony, you are sharing the NYUAD degree with us, and your names will be forever imprinted on that diploma. Now, let's take a bit of a walk down memory lane and go back to candidate weekend. We were all those high school students concerned with not just excelling academically, but with creating an impact. And I'd like to take this opportunity to remind the class of 2019 of those early dreams and of the privilege of having the resources to jumpstart them. But one tip, don't be overachievers. Seriously, stop achieving things and start accomplishing things. We have so many amazing achievers among us, people who have won prestigious titles or awards or secured jobs at top firms, confirming their portrayal of success. But how many of those achievements are accomplishments, things that are meaningful to you personally and can be extended to those around you? An accomplishment can be as simple as understanding someone's perspective in a conversation or giving them insight into the worldview that you've been privileged to have developed here. Please don't let others' accomplishments become your achievements. Accomplishments are important as you move in your lives, as you move forward in your lives, because they're a stepping stone in the right direction, and not your direction. Now, whether you did a million things or one thing, we've all had these opportunities to grow and learn. Every single one of our paths has been different, but we've all arrived at the same destination. We're all here now, about to walk across the stage and receive this blank piece of paper behind me. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to maintain your long-distance relationships? Are you going to extend your worldview to your homes? Are you going to pass on your resilience elsewhere? Going forward, I invite you to think about what you've earned versus what you've accomplished. And while NYUAD's mission is to make the next generation of global leaders, I hope you also make NYUAD the blueprint of all forthcoming change. Our university is a microcosm of what global societies should strive to attain, but also it consists of all of us, all these tiny specks from all over the world who bring the best from their home countries to make this liberal arts education at the forefront of tackling global issues. Remember what my father said, the years we could have lost and could lose learning are unrecoverable. Essentially, our role now is to become full-time global leaders, a term we repeatedly ridiculed because of our denial about our capabilities, our privilege, and our responsibility to uplift the most marginalized members of our communities. But a term we are coming to embrace, slowly but surely. Genuinely, I'm not worried about each and every one of you, not one bit, because each of you has an incredible amount of resilience, a whole family of it, and I hope you use this resilience to pay it forward, to continue to foster the NYUAD family spirit, both in Faiza's nest and wherever we may fly. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice Chancellor of New York University, Abu Dhabi, Alfred Bloom.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, honored guests, members of the NYU and NYU Abu Dhabi communities, families and friends of our graduates, and graduates of the NYU Abu Dhabi class of 2019, good evening and welcome. Graduates, we celebrate each of you who will walk across this stage tonight, prepared for stunning success in your careers, equipped for wise and effective response to the world's most pressing challenges, and ready to open your hearts and your minds across a world of increasingly fractious divides to build a more responsible, inclusive, cooperative, and peaceful globe. These habits of person and mind, intellectual, social, and ethical, represent the core achievements of the finest education and will make your alma mater, those who know you and who come to know you, and you yourselves justly proud. Tonight we celebrate as well NYU Abu Dhabi, the institution which mentored, supported, and challenged you, and which each of you has helped shape into a distinctive and persuasive model for higher education in this century. I invite you to reflect with me on how this institution was conceived, on significant transformations through which it has matured, and on the potential it offers for persuading higher education to accept a more deliberate role in shaping a more responsible and more cooperative world. NYUAD arose out of remarkable convergence of cross-cultural vision and trust between His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and John Sexton, then President of NYU. They imagined NYUAD to be at once a pioneering campus of NYU's global network and a prominent university of this emirate, this nation, and over time of the world. An institution devoted to uncompromising excellence in both undergraduate education and in research, scholarship, and artistic work. And at the same time, to be a powerful incubator of the global experience, understanding, and skill required for responsible citizenship, and leadership in today's world. Consistent with its liberal arts tradition, NYUAD would cultivate acute analytic skills, deep and broad intellectual understanding, and complex and sensitive ethical judgment. It would offer opportunities for study and lived experience across the globe. And it would distinctively enrich that educational model through the exceptional quality of its students, faculty, and staff, through the rigor and ambition of its curriculum, through the close interaction of faculty and students in the generation of knowledge and of creative forms, and through building on campus as a context for learning, a microcosm of a richly diverse, deeply caring, and intentionally cooperative world. NYUAD would be a place where the most talented, intellectually passionate, and courageous students from more than 120 nations come together to form a community where, because no single culture is dominant, each student tests alongside the views of classmates representing the diversity of the world, her or his own view of the natural, the right, the beautiful, and the significant, of where our world most notably succeeds and fails, of directions best to pursue. It would be a place where faculty representing that world would at once meet the highest standards of professional distinction and also delight in undergraduate education, in challenging and supporting students, in transforming them into intellectual colleagues, and in drawing on students' insights and experience to build the faculty's own contribution to intellectual and social advance. By integrating these distinctive strengths, NYUAD would evolve into a powerful center of educational and academic excellence that would contribute critically to the needs of this nation and stretch perspective, empathy, and response to the needs of the world. Even in NYUAD's first year, remarkable students, faculty, and staff, in unanticipated numbers, were drawn to our community by its rare combination of superior academic quality and unprecedented global composition and vision. The size of the institution increased steadily. The educational program matured rapidly. The expectation and opportunity for world-class research was extended to a very large majority of our faculty. And by 2014, the university had moved to this architecturally dynamic and resource-rich campus on Saadiyat Island. Energized by this initial success and compelled by commitment to place the power of higher education more fully in the service of a better world, the community began to consider how to bring disciplinary and multidisciplinary lenses more directly to exploring and responding to the world's most pressing challenges, such as endemic poverty and discrimination, forced migration, disease, unconstrained technology, environmental erosion, terrorism, and regional and international conflict. In a major step forward towards clearer academic focus, and with the strong endorsement of both faculty and the student body, our core academic program was restructured, first to build an interdisciplinary foundation, and then through colloquia to apply the perspectives and analytic tools offered by that foundation to severe challenges facing our globe. Focusing on the challenges themselves offered a holistic picture of the human, environmental, and ethical risks they entail, and of the very complex, multidisciplinary, and global nature of the solutions required to respond effectively to those challenges. Almost simultaneously, propelled by a generous infusion of research support from our government partners, the infrastructure of our research program was restructured as well, around themes that guide research towards areas of critical social and environmental action. Governance and peace, bioinnovation and health, cities, cultural heritage, and environmental sustainability. Under each theme, research centers are developing, which bring together communities of researchers from a variety of disciplinary backgrounds to focus on that theme. It is not surprising that a university drawn from the world and committed to bringing its analytic powers more directly to improving that world would restructure both its core academic program and its research enterprise to that end. But the convergence of that restructuring at the undergraduate core level and at the research level was a stunning moment in academic history, in our academic history, and perhaps from a global educational point of view more generally. And that convergence became even more significant as it coincided with a fresh examination of the underlying purposes and implications of the intense cross-cultural engagement we offer our students. We had considered the fundamental purpose of cross-cultural experience to be developing appreciation for other cultural worlds and the intellectual, social, aesthetic, and ethical experience and insight those worlds bring. But as our experience in intercultural education developed, it became increasingly evident that the purpose of cross-cultural engagement must be not only that of expanding appreciation of other cultural worlds, but as significantly, or even more significantly, of recognizing how much across those cultural worlds we as human beings share, of recognizing how much we share in the infrastructures of our conceptual, linguistic, and emotional lives, in our needs for security, affiliation, and admiration, in our employment, in our enjoyment and employment of humor and beauty, in our longings for opportunity, meaning, accomplishment, and impact. It is that very recognition of continuity across difference that provides the motivation and the basis for bridging seemingly unbridgeable divides. It is that very recognition of how much we have in common that produces the openness to connections across difference in understanding, responsibility, and purpose that can transform a fractious present into a more productive, cooperative, and peaceful future. From candidate weekends and continuing through the course of an NYUAD education, the productive encounter with difference elicits growing recognition of the basis for friendship, trust, care, and mutual responsibility across that difference. That recognition that generates a community of inclusion and of common purpose. And anyone who worries that building common ground will transform the world into a sea of uniformity. You should just take a look at the class of 2019 or at this audience in front of me today. In fact, more than 4 years ago in my concluding toasts at your own candidate weekends, I reminded you, class of 2019, that beyond your awesome skills and intellectual and creative achievement, you are already masters of forming connections across difference. And I promise that the more you exercise that habit of mind, the greater satisfaction you would bring to yourselves and to the world. 4 years later, today, your mastery at this task is more fully realized, and your will to make use of it more determined. And the increasing divisiveness of the world has made all the more clear how crucial your practice of that skill will be to your own and to our collective future. As these advances in NYUAD's educational perspective gave renewed shape to our academic core, to our research commitments, and to our student life program, the world continued to respond with ever-increasing enthusiasm to what NYUAD is about. Students from around the globe expressed ever more interest in the kind of education we offer, sustaining our rates of selectivity and yield in student admissions as among the most competitive in the world. Our graduates continued to demonstrate exceptional achievement in postgraduate placements and in competition for internationally prestigious awards. Faculty from the world's most distinguished institutions in increasing numbers sought positions here, and NYUAD's research, scholarship, and artistic profile moved the university firmly onto the global stage as a center of scientific, social scientific, technological, and cultural advance. And as importantly, the Abu Dhabi and UAE communities welcomed us with increasing respect and appreciation for the contributions NYUAD was making to a more inclusive, empowered, and empowering knowledge-based community here. Once again, a more clearly defined sense of educational purpose triggered a further transformation in our perceptions of ourselves. We dared to think and hope that our accomplishment wasn't simply the path of maturation for this institution, but in fact a blueprint for how higher education can and must evolve to serve an increasingly divided and vulnerable world. Such a model will not only demand excellence in the traditional components of higher education, but compel engagement with the critical challenges that face our globe, and empower the leaps of perspective and trust that bridge the world's divides. Together, we have demonstrated here that higher education can nurture these habits of mind and person, and in fact that it must. For outside higher education, there is no other way to produce, on the global scale required, effective agents of a more responsible and cooperative world. How can nations be successful if their citizens are not prepared to engage with the complexities of the fundamental challenges our world faces? How can the world be successful if citizens and leaders are not prepared to reach across difference, to forge common purpose in meeting those challenges? Of course, we cannot expect all institutions of higher learning to have available the resources and support we have enjoyed. But integrating within academics programs more explicit connections between disciplinary lenses and global challenges, and emphasizing practice in recognizing and building across difference what it is that we have in common, or within the capacity of any institution, no matter its resources or location. Furthermore, I am convinced that most college-age people around the world are eager to build bridges of connection across difference if given the encouragement, the guidance, and the opportunity to do so. Let us continue to refine and extend the model of undergraduate education we have developed here, and in so doing, shatter the assumption that placing education more firmly at the service of a better world will diminish its freedom or erode its rigor or its power. And let us hope that presenting a model of education that more directly serves the world will increase respect for higher education in an era when the world is rapidly losing faith in the value of undergraduate education. other than as a road to pre-professional training and scientific and technological progress. As I step down as Vice Chancellor, I take this opportunity to thank His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and John Sexton for their wisdom and their unwavering support to NYUAD throughout its history. To President Hamilton and NYU's leadership for their commitment to the Global Network University, of which you are part. To Haldun Al-Mubarak, Reem Al-Mukarrab, John Tate, and the Tamkeen team for their investment of confidence, support, and guidance in this project. And to the friends and alumni of this college, its exceptional faculty, staff, and students, and most importantly this evening, to the class of 2019, who have brought our distinctive and historic institution to life. Class of 2019, you are each amazing in what you have accomplished. Thank you for being our students, and very soon for becoming NYUAD alums. And especially thank you for joining and helping to set education on a course that not only seeks intellectual precision, depth, and breadth, but moves its graduates to extend empathy to the world and equips its graduates to act and to inspire others to act towards creating the kind of world that achieves what empathy demands. Congratulations to each of you on this momentous day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of New York University, Andrew Hamilton.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, Vice Chancellor Bloom, colleagues, friends, and most importantly, the outstanding NYU Abu Dhabi class of 2019. Yes. Now, my job tonight is twofold. It is to bring greetings from wider NYU, but it is also to be brief. And let me say how thrilled I am. My wife Jenny, who's in the audience, we are delighted to be here for this special, special evening. We have some work to do tonight. We have some degrees to give out. And may I get that process started by asking all of our family and friends and my colleagues behind me to give their warmest congratulations to the graduating class of 2019. Well done. And NYU class of 2019, you have not made it to this point on your own. You've had the love and the support of many. I now want you to show your thanks to all of those in the room tonight who have helped you to this very special place. And ladies and gentlemen, please forgive me if my voice is cracking a little, because we are nearing the end of NYU's marathon commencement celebrations. We have completed graduation ceremonies for each of NYU's 18 schools and colleges located in New York. And then, of course, the university-wide commencement ceremony held at Yankee Stadium, in which NYU Abu Dhabi was well represented. And in a few days, as you heard from Chairman Berkeley, I will head to NYU Shanghai for the final commencement of the year. Nothing underscores NYU's global reach like my itinerary in May. But whether I'm speaking to the graduating classes from the College of Arts and Science or the Tandon School of Engineering or NYU Shanghai or indeed NYU Abu Dhabi, one thing remains the same. It is always thrilling to look out at the sea of violet in front of me and to think of the bright futures that lie ahead for all of NYU's graduates. In my remarks at the university-wide commencement this year, I spoke about the incredible upward trajectory that NYU has undergone over these past 50 years. I made reference to 1969, when NYU was primarily a regional New York City-based university that accepted close to 70% of those who applied to it. Well, you all know now that NYU's student body today is unmatched in its national and international diversity, and the acceptance rate for the New York City campus has fallen to a record low 16%. We're not quite at NYU Abu Dhabi's level, but we will be soon. Trust me, we're catching up. In metric after metric, NYU has been on an unparalleled upward march into the top tier of world universities. And just a glance at this past year and the honors that our faculty and students have received shows that clearly. This year we have received a Nobel Prize, a Turing Award, the equivalent of the Nobel Prize in computer science, a Pulitzer Prize, an Academy Award. Any of you who watch the Oscars will remember Spike Lee dressed in a violet suit, wearing violet glasses. I'm having mine made right now, and shouting from the stage of the Oscars, "NYU, NYU." It was remarkable. And among our students, Rhodes scholarships, yet again, and a record number of Fulbrights. These show the talent that this university has, and it rivals any in the world. Now, looking back at these past 5 decades of NYU's life, 3 qualities came to my mind as being essential for that upward trajectory that the university has undergone. And those 3, very briefly, are a willingness to take risks, number 1, ambition, soaring ambition, number 2, and creativity, unfettered creativity, number 3. Just think about NYU's global presence, guided by the conviction that it is better to build bridges to the world than walls. Definitely, others want to build walls. NYU builds bridges. We have created a groundbreaking network of sites across 6 continents. And everyone knows that there was always the risk that global outreach might not succeed. But today, our global enterprise has allowed us to create new ways of teaching, new ways of learning and researching across disciplines, as Vice Chancellor Bloom so eloquently said, and also researching, teaching, and learning across borders. This has helped NYU become an undisputed leader in 21st century education. And there is no better proof of that than NYU Abu Dhabi. There are, of course, the impressive statistics, single-digit acceptance rate, 12 Rhodes Scholars in 6 years, and a #1 ranking in the UAE for producing high-quality research. And those rightfully are sources of great pride. But even more important to me is that NYU Abu Dhabi shows, as Al Bloom said magnificently, that a group of people from over 110 different countries can come together with a shared purpose and build a robust community that has equipped everyone in it to have a profound and lasting impact on the world. And what a testament that is to the vision of a very small number of people. The Crown Prince, as we've heard, my predecessor, John Sexton, sitting right at the back there. And on the front row next to Al Bloom, Khaldoon Al Mubarak. Those 3 men, this was their vision and their achievement. And now it is being brought forward by the wonderful partnership that we have with Majida Al Maktoum, also on the front row, and her colleagues at Tamkeen. NYU Abu Dhabi is in great health. And I want to just single out one other person who's in the audience tonight. We will be talking more about Al Bloom and his remarkable legacy at NYU Abu Dhabi in a few moments. But I want to just ask Mariette Westerman, who will start as NYU Abu Dhabi's Vice Chancellor this summer. Mariette, welcome, welcome, welcome. Graduates, I said earlier that the willingness to take risks with ambition and creativity were essential to NYU's successful trajectory. Well, class of 2019, I would argue that those same qualities will also be essential to your own trajectory, to the trajectory of your lives. But luckily, as NYU Abu Dhabi students, you have had abundant opportunities to develop those traits: risk-taking, ambition, and creativity. You needed all three of those qualities to become students here, just as you needed all three of them to succeed here, and you have all succeeded brilliantly. To the class of 2019, wherever on the globe life takes you, know that all of NYU is proud of you and sends its very best wishes for your future careers and your future happiness. To all of you, class of 2019, many congratulations on your achievements. Well done. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker, Bonnie St. John. Hers is a remarkable story of courage, perseverance, and achievement. Born with a condition that required her to have her right leg amputated at the age of 5, Bonnie went on to become the first African American to win medals in Winter Olympic competition, taking home a silver and 2 bronzes in the 1984 Paralympics in Innsbruck, Austria. She went on to graduate from Harvard University, magna cum laude, and then, like 2 of NYU Abu Dhabi's graduating students, she won a Rhodes Scholarship to a minor institution in the UK called Oxford. And there she earned a master's degree in economics. Now, 3 US presidents have recognized Bonnie's diverse achievements. Bill Clinton appointed her to the White House Economic Council. George W. Bush honored her at a White House celebration of Black History Month. And Barack Obama selected her as a member of his official delegation to the Paralympic Winter Games in Vancouver. She is the author of 7 books, and today Bonnie travels widely as a leadership consultant and a keynote speaker. We are so pleased to welcome her to the podium. She is someone who embodies NYU's motto, per stare et praestare, to persevere and to excel. Our keynote speaker, Bonnie St. John.
Greetings, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, parents, faculty, and of course, the class of 2019. Yes, you can cheer. It is customary in my position to be congratulating you on your achievement. And you have all worked very hard. Some of you have made it look easy. Some of you have struggled. Some of you may have left and come back. Some of you have parents either here or somewhere far away thinking it is a miracle that you made it. But you all made it to this incredible day. But I find myself feeling, rather than congratulating you, the emotion that I feel more strongly is a sense of gratitude. And I have to say, I've spoken at other graduations, and it's palpably different. I feel that I need to thank you for being willing to take a risk, as has been said, to join in this incredible cutting-edge project to redefine what education looks like, to create a truly global education. People have talked about how wonderful it is to sit in the cafeteria late at night talking to people from 20 countries. But I got to imagine at times it was hard. That you felt insulted by something someone said, and they didn't even realize they'd insulted you. To be hurt, to hurt others, to fight. I can't imagine it was always easy. But to come together, to build bridges across so many cultures, to learn, to have empathy, to stretch your minds in incredible ways. Coming here, my husband and I came, my husband Alan is in the audience, and yeah, you can cheer for him. We've spent a couple of days here, we've talked to some students and faculty members, and just, we've had to stretch our minds just to understand what happens here, and I know I've only had a small taste. But the conversations, education is so much about conversation and what you learn from each other. And to have 10 students in a room and have 10 countries represented is a very different conversation than what most of the students around the world are having. This is a truly extraordinary place that has been created. And so I thank the students for being willing to participate in the creation of this amazing place. I thank you for coming and staying and creating. And of course, I thank the faculty and the trustees and all of the people who make this possible, and also the parents who, go ahead, you can cheer for parents. Who had to trust and in many cases send you far away, and the student speakers talked about the long distance relationships and all of the challenges that entails. And so the creation of this amazing space really comes down to all of you taking risks, putting in the effort, and being courageous. I want to share a story with you from being at the Olympics. When I was selected for the US team, I was the third-ranked one-legged woman in the United States in alpine skiing. Now that was a good thing because they only took 3 one-legged women on the US team. So after years of training, and I grew up in San Diego, California, where there's no snow, so I had to leave home to ski. So I moved to different places, I waited tables, I looked for sponsors. I had to work very hard. People say it's difficult to ski on one leg. It's really difficult to ski when your family has no money. So I had to work hard and be creative to make it possible, and I broke my leg at one point. I had many setbacks, but I finally made it to be on the US team going to the Paralympics in Innsbruck, Austria. I had my team uniform, my ticket to Innsbruck, and my mother came with me. It was the first time my mother had ever seen me in a ski race. We didn't have ski races in San Diego. She was a single mom and a school teacher, so she wasn't traveling around with me skiing. When she came to Innsbruck, it was the first time she would get to see me actually race. And I had no thought of winning. If you're the third-ranked woman in the US, no one thinks you're going to beat your own team members, never mind anyone else. But I had trained all summer on a glacier. I had gotten very strong, and I had trained with 2-legged skiers and just really pushed myself to raise the bar. So when I finished the first run of the slalom race, the slalom is the tight turns around the red and blue poles. When I finished the first run of the first race, the times were posted, and my time was #1 in the world. It was a complete upset. But to win a medal, it takes 2 runs. You have to go back and do it again. Now, I don't know how many ski racers or skiers we have in Abu Dhabi. How many skiers do we have here? Few. So those of you who ski may realize that the second run is never like the first. Because after the first run, the snow is all chewed up. The course is destroyed. So they have to set a new course that is entirely different. So as I'm waiting for the second run, I'm thinking, I'm in first place. I'm going to take home the gold medal. This is incredible, beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm standing there waiting. A few other women go down before me. And they report back up to the top of the hill that they're crashing. On this new course, there's this dangerous icy spot. And people are falling. Everybody's skiing on one leg. You try to hold on, but they fall down. So I'm at the top thinking, I just have to stay standing. I don't have to do anything crazy. I just have to stay standing and I could win. Now, I was sponsored by a US-based black ski organization. A lot of people think black people don't ski. But there were 33 members of this organization that had sponsored me there to cheer me on. So my teammates said, Bonnie, you have a really big family, because these black people all stood out, right? But I wasn't paying attention to that. I knew I needed to concentrate and go for the gold. So I get to the point where I'm standing in the starting gate, and the race official's counting down 3, 2, 1, go. I hit the timing wand. I'm hitting the red and blue bamboo poles. I get to where I can see the finish line, and I think, I've made it. I'm over the ice. I'm going to win. And that's when I fell. I was so close. I could taste victory. And I found myself sitting on my rear end in the snow. In that moment, I just wanted to crawl away and disappear. I didn't want to have to face my teammates, my coaches, my mother. But before I could make a decision about what I would do, my training took over, and I jumped up, grabbed my equipment, and got over the finish line. When the dust cleared and they posted all the times, my time was still in 3rd place. I won a bronze medal. I got to stand on the winner's podium, the US flag waving behind me, my mother crying in the snow. But it wouldn't have happened if I had given up when things didn't look promising. Now, I think it's interesting, what got me through that moment wasn't a decision that I made, it was my training. It was the ability, without thinking, to do the right thing. And I think that's so powerful. That's a gift that you've gotten here, that your instincts will be different because of how you've been shaped in the last 4 years. In some of the toughest moments that you will have as leaders, as conveners, as decision makers, as people who impact the world, some of the most difficult decisions you make will be how you treat another person in the blink of an eye. And that will be different because you were here. You will have the instinct to get up when you fall down, not to stay down, not to hide, not to run, not to escape a difficult situation, but to get up and get over the finish line because of what you've become here, because of your training. You are the change. You are what is different in the world, what is needed in the world today. So many of the speeches have exhorted you to go out and change the world. And you will, because you are the change. You can try to change the world, but I don't think you can fail to change the world because you are the change. As I stood on the winner's podium accepting my bronze medal in that race, I thought about the woman who won the gold. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? And I realized I beat her when nothing went wrong. I had the fastest slalom. I was the best slalom skier in the world. She also fell in the second run. So she didn't beat me by not falling in the second run. She didn't beat me by being a better skier. How did she beat me? She got up faster, someone said. She won the gold medal in the world for being the quicker getter-upper. It speaks to the importance of resilience. You will go out in the world from here, and you will have a greater resilience because you carry with you the stories, the dreams, the perspectives of the world. You have the ability to be more resilient in more situations. But you also have, you will fall down. I had the privilege earlier today to sit down with some of your classmates and ask them, what should I say in my speech? And part of what they talked about was how much pressure that you do feel, that you all feel, that you have to go out and solve all the problems that we created. So I tell you, you are the change. You cannot fail to make the world better by just who you are and how you be in the world. But also know that as you go out, you will fall down and you will get up again. And sometimes you will get up fast, but sometimes it will take a season to get up. It won't always look like you are changing the world. Know that you are always changing the world by everything you do. And you'll have some seasons where you're raising children. Whether you're a woman or a man, you may leave the workforce and be raising children for a season. You may fail in a job or a project and take a little while to get back on track. You will go through many seasons. It won't always look like you are doing what we all expect you to do, but it's important to understand that you are. I wrote a whole article on the difference between looking extraordinary and being extraordinary. It's qz.com if you want to look it up. It's in the Atlantic Monthly. No, because it's an important discussion about the difference between being extraordinary and looking extraordinary. And because you have so much social media and so much pressure and so much connectedness, you often will feel that you have to solve all of these problems tomorrow. You have to be a world leader and you have to change everything. It takes time. It won't always look like you are changing the world. But even if you are full-time raising a child, you're raising that child differently because of all of your classmates will be helping to raise that child. Their thoughts, their cares, the late night conversations will be poured into that child, and they will be raised differently. If you have failed at a project, you will be learning from that project and regrouping to become the person you need to be at a later stage. You won't always look like you're changing the world, but trust me, you are. And it's important to be patient with yourself because if you are too obsessed with looking like you are changing the world, you won't. Am I right? If you are too obsessed with looking like you are changing the world, you can't possibly do it. It's giving yourself the time to listen. It's giving yourself the time to grow, to gain the different experiences you need to put together to do what you need to do at different points in time. This vision, this incredible vision of where we are and what we're doing here was not built in a night, was not built in a year. Vision takes time and takes everything you are and everything you become to put together. So you will fall down many times and you will get up and you will not always look as though you are doing what you promised all of these people here you would do with this education. But you are the change. You cannot help but change the world by who you are and what you have done here. So I thank you not only for coming to NYU Abu Dhabi, I thank you for leaving. One of the questions one of the students asked me today was, how do I go back? Once I've been here and had this conversation where 100 different perspectives are valued and listened to and merged, how do I go back to a place where people don't understand, people don't respect other people's, they have small-minded views. How do I go back? What do I say to those people? And it made me realize that almost anywhere you go from here will be less diverse, will be less accepting, will be less evolved. And I heard the pain of the student telling me this. How do I leave? Forgive me if I use a biblical reference from my own framework. How do I leave the Garden of Eden and go back into the world? You're going to have to be patient with yourself and with each other. You're going to have to fall down and get up. You're not always going to look like you're making change, but have faith that you are. I want to leave you with something that a coach said to me, Warren Witherell. And he was not just a ski coach. He was a game changer. He created a school that was an innovative school like this one. It was a high school for ski racers. And prior to this high school for ski racers in the US, the United States ski team had had a difficult time keeping pace with Europe. We didn't create as many alpine Olympic winners, but since that school was created, we've had people competing in the Olympics. Michaela Schifrin, the last Olympics. It's been a training ground for champions. So when I was at the school, I got a full scholarship to go to the school. I broke my leg actually on the first day of school, my only leg. But that's another story. But while I was at the school, I would ask Warren Witherell things like, how do I wax my skis, 20 years later, I got a phone call and he asked me to come back. He was working as the headmaster of a school in Colorado at that point, starting a new school, and he asked me to come and speak at graduation. And I flew out to Denver, and I had to drive for 5 hours with him up to the mountains to get to the school. And so 20 years later, I wasn't asking him, how do I wax my skis? I was asking him, how did you create so many champions? Warren Witherell is in the Hall of Fame not only for alpine skiing, but also for water skiing. He created collegiate water ski programs, and he changed the technology of how we stand on our skis. He was such an innovator. And I wanted to know, how did you create champions, so many champions? And we had a long conversation, but I'll leave you with just one thought that he said. He said, I never built champions one at a time. I created communities of champions, because you can only push one person so far, but when you have a community of champions, they're sharing ideas and best practices, questioning each other's ideas, cheering for each other's successes, and maybe even more importantly, picking each other up when they fall down. The wonderful thing is you will leave here more connected than we ever were when we left college, so you can stay connected with your community of champions and share ideas, share your hopes and dreams, share your successes. But people today don't often enough share their failures. Share your failures with one another, because you can get strength to regroup and go back in to the conversation. And that's the only way you will change the world, is not by never falling, but by being able to fall over and over and over again and get up and go back. One of the students asked me earlier today, how did you go from college and graduate school, and then you went to work for IBM, and then you went to work for the government in economics, and then you started your own business. How did you do so many different things? And I said, you can only do what I did if you are really willing to look stupid. Most people stay in one area because they get strength and they become professional and they have their accomplishments, and they don't want to leave and go somewhere where they will start over and look stupid and make mistakes. I did. When I made those transitions, I fell down, I got back up. And so the willingness to do that is such a key part of what it will take for you to make change. So this is your community of champions, but I also want you to think about creating your own communities of champions wherever you go, because you cannot by yourself make the change that you want to make. But you can convene groups of people. You can help groups of people to connect with other parts of the world. You can help create the kinds of conversations you've had here in other places. You can't force other people to understand what you learned here, but you can help create the conditions in which they can learn the same things too. You can create communities of champions for other people that you encounter, and in the places that you go, you can create the conversations that will change the world. So if I leave you with nothing else, you are the change. You can't help it. So stop stressing about it. Stop stressing about being the person that will change the world. You are. You can't help it. Know that you will not always look like you are changing the world, and yet you are. You will fall down. You will mess up. You will have to pull yourself back together and tape yourself back together. So stay in touch with your community of champions here, because they will help you do it. And they will be able to say, yeah, I did that too. Fall down, get up, build communities of champions wherever you go. And thank you. You have already changed the world. Thank you. I have to say one more thing. Can I say, I have to say one more thing. I wanted to say, I'm so excited that you're joining the NYU family, but we are too. Our youngest daughter is starting at NYU New York in fall, and except that she'll spend her first year in Paris. And so she too will get a taste of being a global student at NYU, and we are so happy to be part of the family. Thank you.
Bonnie, just stay here. Bonnie St. John, in appreciation for your inspiring and memorable words, and in recognition of your extraordinary contributions towards a more inclusive and empowered world, on behalf of the NYU Abu Dhabi and NYU New York University, it is our great privilege to confer upon you the NYU Abu Dhabi Global Leadership Award. It is our ardent hope that this award will bring you even closer to help us form the NYUAD community that you speak so highly of. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we are celebrating a great milestone for our graduates as they begin a new chapter in their lives. But there is someone else. Actually, there are two people in the NYU Abu Dhabi community, Al Bloom and Peggy Bloom, who are also embarking on a new chapter in their lives. As Al Bloom prepares to step down after serving for more than a decade as NYU Abu Dhabi's inaugural Vice-Chancellor, he leaves a tremendous legacy, a magnificent legacy at this institution. He helped take NYU Abu Dhabi from a vision to a reality, and his vigorous standards of academic excellence, his personal integrity, and his unwavering belief in the power of global education set the course for NYU Abu Dhabi's amazing success. He has laid the strongest of foundations on which his successor can now build. Now we have a special thank you tribute video to Vice Chancellor Al Bloom from his many friends in Abu Dhabi.
I'm honored to call Al Bloom a very dear friend and join all his many friends here in Abu Dhabi in celebrating his many accomplishments as a founding Vice Chancellor of NYU Abu Dhabi. Over the course of his career in Abu Dhabi, he has challenged young minds and made the university an exciting place for students, staff, and faculty. NYU Abu Dhabi has become an important academic and cultural landmark of the UAE and an example of tolerance and the genuine expression of human fraternity in the programs it offers for all its staff to learn and to improve their prospects in work and in life.
NYU Abu Dhabi also does what a lot of good universities should do, which is basically enrich their surroundings. And I think this is done actively through quite excellent speakers, programs, being part and parcel of the community. This mix really of education plus social interaction plus ability to create and express views and so on and so forth is a happy mix. And I think this is really because of Al Bloom and others.
Al made NYUAD what it is today because he is at his heart a humanist. He put students, he put academic life, he put everything that's important about NYUAD before himself. And that essential humility, combined with the intellectual rigor and frankly intellectual honesty that he has, is really what made him the perfect person to lead.
Al built it in a way that you feel that it's a place that many young people aspire to be in and to study in NYU Abu Dhabi or to perform in its art centers. Al did create a beautiful legacy. I'm sure he's going to look back and smile. We're going to look back at Al's legacy and smile.
Al coined the term ethical intelligence, driving the idea that society should bridge the gap between the intention and the outcome of their actions, focusing on the true purpose of those actions. The UAE is looking at its role in the region and the world in the same way. It's one of the reasons the UAE and NYU collaboration on NYUAD works so well.
He had this personality which is very friendly and open and ready to be there every day, every minute, not as a president or a vice chancellor sitting in an ivory tower distant from what is happening around him. And the fact that academically he was very serious, so he knew what was expected was to create truly this dream of a first-class educational institution that could compete globally.
His passion that came from a deep commitment to the institution, but more importantly to the people. And you talk to anybody that's interacted with Al over the last 10 years, from former students to current students to faculty, former and current. There's such a deep appreciation for him and for the role he plays daily. Al has been an amazing individual, but it comes also hand in hand with Peggy. Her role within the institution, in the wider community, with all the stakeholders, also cannot be forgotten.
That desire to connect with the individual, to understand them, without trying to convert them to their point of view. I mean, that's the real definition of cosmopolitanism. If you're already that way yourself, and you embody that, and you're living by example for the students, and you're teaching them how to be that way, then there's an enormous amount of hope for the future. I mean, I love him. We all love him. He's the original pioneer. And to give 10 years of unflagging commitment is really something that we in UAE have so much gratitude for.
we truly appreciate what he accomplished, and because of his leadership, this is what NYU Abu Dhabi is today.
Al, thank you for having devoted the last 10 years of your life to creating something that I think will outlive all of us. You've helped change the face of Abu Dhabi. You've helped educate our kids, our friends. You've created a community.
At times, maybe it seemed effortless, but I'm sure it was quite tough. Thank you, Al.
Al, thank you for the leadership you have shown at NYU Abu Dhabi since day one. NYU Abu Dhabi will continue to grow because of the legacy you are leaving behind.
Al, thank you very much, first of all, for being such a true friend. And thank you for making this dream come true that will have an impact on the region, in the UAE, and globally.
UAE as a whole owes you a huge debt of gratitude. We were so lucky to have you and Peggy, and I personally will miss you, my friend. And I hope that you always feel welcome and keep returning to UAE. You're now part of our history. You're part of the fabric.
It's been an amazing journey. You've been a great leader. We will deeply miss you, but at the same time, you will always have a place here in your second home.
I really miss sitting next to you, Al, during the art center performances. The laughs and the cries and the claps. Something we shared, and please know that you'll have friends for life.
My dear Al, thank you very much for what you've done to the UAE and your contribution. Much appreciated by everybody. God bless you, my dear friend.
Thank you all. I so deeply appreciate having known you, having worked with you, seeing what all of you will accomplish as this school grows and as the UAE continues to gain great contribution from its presence here, but also to add its confidence and its belief in NYU Abu Dhabi. You are an amazing community and one that will just create, as our speaker spoke to, amazing communities in its future, which will continue to spread across the world. So thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the deans of each division will now present their candidates for all degrees in course to President Hamilton. All candidates and their guests are requested to remain at their seats until the end of the presentations, which are followed by the official conferring of all degrees by President Hamilton. Taneli Kukkonen, Interim Dean of Arts and Humanities.
President Hamilton, Vice-Chancellor Bloom, I am honored to present to you the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the Arts and Humanities. Laraib Abrar. Mira Al-Jallaf. Hajar Al-Mansouri. Meitha Al-Saidi. Maha Hamed Al-Yusufi. Sarah Al-Mahairi. May Baho. Margarita Bicek. Willem James Kant. Jacob Shagnon. Dodge Chapman. Yundong Cho. Lee Yan Choi. Shenuka Korea. Victoria Critchlow. David Kurgobet. Sarah Daher. Arthur de Oliveira. Rain DeFranco. Jack Delano. Du Xiao Xiao. Josefina Dumai. Anita Dushkova. Lina El Musa. Gabor Gelai. Leslie Gray. Alice Huang. Leyan Aram Ismail. Hawking Kunkel. Ethan David Lee. Alina Mikhailovich. Maria Laura Mirabelli. Andrew Modi. Maya Morsley. Aram Nagy. Sakura Konaka. Tala Nassar. Marika Niko. Julia Piskoliska. Aya Rashid. Riva Razdan. Ankita Sadar Joshi. Sugandha Sukla. Ifada Sifar. Diana Yao King Siu. Luis Carlos Soto Ruiz. Angela Marina Squila Cocci. Orshoya Santo. Himag Vaidya. Vuk Vukovic. Simon Wilkes. Zheng Wan Yu. Yao Drang. And Ruobing Zhao.
Samir Mdanat, Dean of Engineering.
President Hamilton, Vice Chancellor Bloom, I'm honored to present to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor in Engineering. Alimayahu Abebe. محمد منيب أفضل. فهد أحمد. مريم الهرمودي. مهل مزروعي. سارة الظاهري. هاني الحسني. نورا المري. الماسي بنسي. علي الرحمة. إكنا أنيبوغو. أمل بدري. ألبرتو كاستيو غوتيريز. دانيال شيريتا. عمر جميل. هنوك جلوما. ستيفن هولتر. محمد مباشر إقبال. بيتر إيفانوف. جانار جاكسون. شونسوكي كاساهارا. راغاف كيديا. محمد أسامة خان. وقار خان. راغاف كومار. فيرونيكا لي. Alexander McKay. Pratik Maisuria. Pranav Mehta. Chandan Mishra. Stefan Niehaus. Victor Okoth. Joseph Opie. Raitis Pekos. Wow. Abdul Rahman. Yelber Ruka. Pearl Ruawia. Faturur Said. Mahmoud Salahuddin. Herbert Chowdhury. Yeah. Georgy Shemov. Jagan Narayanan Subramanian. Who said engineers are boring? Saad Sultan. Ona Thornquist. Halil Utku Unlu. Ushna Usman. Jotham Sajan Varghese. Congratulations to all.
David Shikitano, Dean of Science.
President Hamilton, Vice Chancellor Bloom, I'm honored to present to you the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the areas of science and mathematics. Ali Saif Al-Dahari. Khalid Al-Hozani. Muna Al-Kazem. Yazan Al-Ajluni. Fatma Al-Shuhumi. Jude Al-Hadri. Ganiba Ali. Sarah Al-Mazrui. Sandra Andrich. Hulu Ukal. Araz Aslanian. Tomasz Bakosh. Alexandra Kristina Barowaska. Shantanu Bhatia. Sandra Boutros. Yana Shala. Yunhu Chang. Christine Dain Chung. Raluca Georgia Diugan. Tabina Faisal. Guyu Fun. Sunia Farouk. Melitza Gayich. Titas Gariba. Tamara Gorgieva. Mina Gonokuchi. Ufe Gu. Sneha Gyawali. Imtiaz Huriani. Weihang He. William Held. Supriya Kamuth. Erna Kapitancic. Anastasia Konazyeva. Priyanka Lukiani. Suyang Lee. Lee Wendy. Queena Lin. Lin Zhu. Nishal Mainali. Tuba Mari. Taylor Jade McHardy. Liam Meyer. Sam Myers. Brandon Mochama. Hayden Mountcastle. Leanne Knife. Ella Knoll. Neela Knoll. Munechiso Nadiki. Danielle Obaji. Emil Goldsmith Olazen. Sharon Q. Aranza Rodriguez. Michael Rosenthal. Safa Salim. Miraflor Padilla Santos. Ishani Sen. Simon Miungun Sa. Jin Shang. Nadine Solomon. Theodore Tenev. Cynthia Shin Tong. Alejandra Trejo Rodriguez. Alexandra Urbanikova. Nada Wardi. Shunya Watanabe. Alvaro Llanes. J1U. Rita Zafar. Syed Faizan Hederzedi. And Lin Zhu. Congratulations to everyone.
Erv Kress, the Dean of Social Sciences.
President Hamilton, Vice Chancellor Bloom, I'm honored to present to you the candidates for the bachelor's degree in social science. Aliyah Abud. Nikolos Adeishvili. Miren Aguilera. Lama Ahmad. Aisha Al-Fahim. Aliazia Al-Fahim. Aliazia Al-Falassi. Amal Al-Gargawi. Majida Al Maktoum. Hanin Al-Nuemi. Fatima Al-Zabi. Mariam Al-Hamadi. Omar Al-Marzouki. Aliya Al-Meheri. Sarah Al-Meheri. Aisha Al-Suwaidi. Sarah Al-Shimmari. Sanar Yaz Amin. Keith Anto. Mahad Osgar. Firas Ashraf. Aidana Asilbekova. Firas Atwa. May Awamle. Nina Bambisheva. Gix Banga. Jakub Alexander Bartoszewski. Valentin Benoît. Rashtra Bandari. Gloria Bilbili. Aldana Bin Jafar. Daniyar Bolshishbayev. Sarah Booth. Jakub Borosh. Ryan Brown. Flavia Cereceda. Eugene Cho. Laura Alexandra Bering. Sharif Ibrahim El Shishtawi Hassan. Rayan Elsharkawi. Jocelyn Estes. Cristobal Esteve. Youssoufa Faboure. Maria Dolores Fernandez Flores. Shinichiro Fuji. Fatima Saed Gobash. Shen Shuoguo. Fatih Haloglu. Abraham Ogbaselaise Hedru. Haima Humayun. Ginikashi Jessica Ibuakaeze. Rabia Imran. Donia Ismail. Han Jiang. Nan Jiang. Atoka Joe. Mia Johnston. Joseph Colorical. Philippe Karan. Faustine Irebe Karasira. Ruta Karposkaite. Tarmo Corella. Nadine Ndia Laze. Alina Lebedeva. Jin Seok Lee. Marianne Lepp. Enrique López de la Peña. Cristina Lupuchor. Ifran Madatali. Mathilda Mane. Varda Malik. Xinyi Mao. James Kirk Edward Barros Mariano. Alexandra Markov. Hannah Melvin Ray. Ahmed Meshref. Yero Nyamadio. Jeong-un Oh. Eric Olsen. Manus Pant. Marina Esmeralda Papadimitriou. Penelope Peng. Alexander Petrif. Alexandra Pliska. Yi Chin. Veronika Ralinowska. Nicola Rosso. Alexandra Rowinska. Diego Sandoval. Keshar Shahi. Chete Sherpa. Chi Kerr. Nikolai Thor. Michael Tapus. Mohamed Touraif. Giulia Turchetti. Chris Wheeler. Stanislav Henrik Willemborek. Abigail Wilson. Teras Yinman Wong. Sung Yue Shu. Jensen Yang. Thomas Yates. Lucine Yagyazarian. Alisa Yu. Zhao Yingwei. Candice Shuju. Anastasia Zubareva. Mabruk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Provost Fabio Piano.
We now proceed to the formal conferral of degrees. And in keeping with the tradition of New York University, we highlight this important moment in our ceremony by the passing of the New York University Abu Dhabi torch. As in New York, the torch is a symbol of learning. The torch will be passed from a member of this year's graduating class to a member of next year's graduating class. On stage now, holding the university torch is Christine Chung. As President Hamilton confers the degrees, the torch will be passed from Christine Chung, a member of the graduating class, to Emma Tocci, a member of the class of 2020. May I ask all of the candidates for degrees to now rise for the conferring of degrees in course by President Hamilton.
Members of the NYU Abu Dhabi class of 2019, through your successful efforts as certified by the recommendations of your deans, you have met the requirements and thus deserve to receive this hallmark of New York University, Abu Dhabi. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of New York University, I now admit you to the degrees for which you have been recommended. Candidates, it's official. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the cast of the New York University Abu Dhabi Real AD Show, who will now perform We Are Not Strangers.
Every step I take takes me farther from the world that I know. Searching for balance, I feel like I'm here on my own. Do I know how to start this chapter? What am I even going after? If the world is different, why should we stay the same? What can we gain if we're not open to change? Open to new minds, new ways, new pace, a new day. We've got to move forward, it's the only way. We'll take a stance, take a chance, take one step and then another. The world's all ours. We are not strangers, not strangers. We see the same moon, feel the same sun, and when we wake up we'll recognize we are not strangers. If tomorrow is coming, how should we spend today? How can we celebrate our lives with every choice that we make? Open new doors, our eyes, breathe in and decide to leave the walls we created behind. We'll make a mark like the dark, take one step and then another. The world's all ours. We are not strangers, not strangers. I can hear it, the song that tomorrow sings. I will not fear it, I am here and I'm listening. I will learn to adapt to adaptation, revelation. This is how we generate our generation. We are not strangers, not strangers. We see the same moon, feel the same sun, and when we wake up we'll recognize we are not strangers, not strangers, not strangers, not strangers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 2019 commencement exercises of New York University Abu Dhabi. Degree candidates and guests are asked to remain at their seats until the procession has left the hall.